I'm going to be the chemist today. I got my test tubes, all right, and I got my bottles, and I'm going to make the next greatest thing. Unobtainium is inside this kit, I swear.
You just be sure to use it on your car first.
But it's unobtainium. I mean, look, I got so much stuff. I got test tubes. Come on. You got a beaker. We can make this.
You always say, you do you, I'll do me, and we'll let our guest do himself. So.
Okay, yes, we are back once again. Thank you all for tuning in. And those of you that have been, I've been seeing your faces out there on social media, the ones that have been tuning in for each and every one of these, a big handout to you. That's some hours. I know the hours that we're putting in over here, and you guys are watching it, and we appreciate each and every one of you. And like always, if you have any questions or you have want to know anything about what we're talking about here, put it down in the comments and questions down below, or the comment section down below. That's both on Facebook and on YouTube. And we are talking the new buzzword in the industry, graphene.
Graphene.
And guess what? We have a chemist.
We have the chemist.
Me?
You go that way.
Oh, I go, all right, fine. I guess I'll let you introduce our guest. Let me spin around here, get a couple things set up. So if you want to start teasing.
Yeah, we do have the chemist behind this formula, and this is the new 303 Graphene Nano Spray Coating. And when this thing was let loose onto the internet world, it really created a lot of buzz, a lot of people excited about it, a lot of people had questions about it, and a certain amount of cynicism about it. And to just take out all the myths and confusion and urban legends, we have the chemist that helped to create this, David Gutierrez from 303 Products. David, how are you doing, man?
A little nervous, but doing great.
Hey, it's really nice to have you, and I can see you're in the laboratory right there.
Yeah. Yeah, here, let me adjust some more so you guys can see more stuff.
And you know, I've been doing this a long time, and one thing that's always really powerful, instead of having a talking head, try to tell everybody about how great a product is to have a chemist actually be there to talk about it, because it's just that they bring more credibility to it since they are a chemist, and that would be you.
Well, I guess the other advantage is we know literally every little aspect of what is in the product and the purpose behind every component. And I can tell you right now, this formulation has a lot of components with specific purposes that they serve. And so, yeah, behind me, I'm not sure which place I'm pointing, but you can see that's our dispersator. And then directly behind me, we have our pH meters. We have an IR spectrometer. We have a GC mass spec. We have lots of really cool toys to help us develop and design products.
Okay, I'm jealous now. My little chemistry kit isn't going to even come close. Mine's for doing salt water with fish and everything like that. All right, I'm just going to shut up and go away.
Well, here's how I'd like to start this. First of all, is when you guys introduced this product, you were so kind as to send me a bottle. This is actually the launch edition. And I know that we tried to get together and do something earlier, and there was a schedule conflict, so things like that happened. But we're together now, and that's what's important. And we reach a very wide and varied audience. And so this is really a chance to get the accurate information out there. And one of the things that I've read from people that are not chemists is that this product can't possibly work, but that's because they didn't make it, and they're just kind of going by what they know, and they don't know as much as you. So this is your chance to shine, pun intended, and let's just talk about the technology as much as you can. We don't want you to give away the secrets. We don't want you to give away proprietary information, but whatever you can share to kind of put everybody at ease that this is the real deal.
Yeah, so within that product, we try to overload the amount of graphene oxide that we're able to get into solution. Initially, we looked at small amounts, wanted to see what the effect would be, and then we gradually made I guess it could be considered like a ladder step. We just went up the ladder until we found a point of insolubility where it completely just crashed out. And then what we said was, let's bring it back. Let's do some stability testing, make sure that the amount of graphene oxide that's in there is going to be stable for the long haul. And then what we did was, so inside of there you have various catalysts. There's two different types in there. You have two different solvents in there. And then you have three different types of specialized siloxanes. And within all those different components, what you wind up with is the product that you have in your hand. And this is actually the graphene oxide itself. It's a very, very dark, fine powder. Well, sort of fine, but it's very, very, very dark. And it's not the easiest to work with, but we did find a way of working with it. And so, I mean, in a nutshell, the product, it goes on black, is designed to turn clear, and then from there turn to like a white haze, similar to like a paint protection type item at the very end, like as a final step to show that it's completely cured. So this product was months and months in development. I should probably look up to figure out which formulation version I'm on now. But when we released that one, we did a lot of trial and error, and the marketing team, they're pretty rough, telling me initially, yeah, this is no good. And then I was like, well, just give me time, you know, just let me play in the lab. And eventually you wind up with a formulation that works well because there's a lot of synergy within all the chemistries.
Gotcha. Now, before we go any further, Yancy, I'm going to ask him some questions. And while I'm asking it, is it possible you could run into my office? I got a little small glass beaker in my antique wax collection because I want to pour some of this out to show people what it looks like.
Oh, no, I can definitely do that.
Okay. I just hate to abuse you like that. So one of the things I want to talk about is first of all, for all of us laymen out here, people that are not chemists, let's start with what is graphene? What makes it special and as a component, and then what makes it special as a product to put on car paint? Those three topics.
Okay, so graphene itself, first discovered on a single layer of Scotch tape back in 2004 at the University of Manchester by a couple of their chemists there. So graphene itself is electroconductive. It's actually being used on superconductors, batteries, solar panels. Let's see, it's also being used inside of the heat sinks on laptops and also on computers. So graphene itself is a very interesting structure because it is known to be harder than steel. And so, but graphene itself is very hard to work with. So what we're working with is graphene oxide, and this is a picture of the structure. So graphene oxide is a little easier to manipulate, not as easy as other forms, but definitely something that we can work with. And what you'll see is it has all these various bonds. So you have this COOH, which is actually it's hydrogen bonding, but it's known as a carboxylic acid, and that's the simplest form of a version of a carboxylic acid. So the hydrogen bonding helps to encourage additional bonding or layering of the products. The other part of the graphene oxide, it comes from coal. So this is actually helping to serve the coal mining industry to give them a value added or a value product that they can give the industry for us. And if you could repeat the question, that'd be great.
Oh, so what is it? What makes it special? And then what makes it unique or special as to applying it to paint? What would the benefit be to put this on and get it to bond and be there on the paint?
Okay, so what makes it special is the conductivity, and that's what helps to reduce the water spotting. And so with the product and what we've seen is, and it's really hard to show it on video, but it's more so visibly seen. So you get this lowered surface temperature, and the lowered surface temperature is it's a synergistic heat transfer between the paint of the car and the coating itself. And so whenever you spray the product on and as it cures, then it's starting to react with the painted surface or with the clear coat. And then as the heat dissipates, that's when the product starts to flash off, and then that's when you see the two different phases that it goes through, which is the clear and then the white. And so the graphene oxide, when applied to the car, not only does it provide durability, but it also provides enhanced reduced water spotting. It's just reduced water spotting. And so whenever we've tested it out here in the Chicagoland area, and we've left cars in the rain, and actually we made a video about it today. With the reduced water spotting, what's really cool is if anything does accumulate or any type of water spots do appear, they come off with your finger. Just the oils of your finger is all that it takes to remove the water spot, as opposed to using harsh chemicals and other means or aggressive like polish pads or stuff like that. So you no need for any specialized equipment. They come off pretty easy.
So in the car detailing world, and I'm sure you're well aware of this, one of the worst types of defects to have to remove out of car paint are water spots. And there's different types of water spots. There's what people always call hard water, which is dissolved minerals in the water. When the water evaporates, it leaves the minerals, which sometimes can look a little bit crusty, but usually these things are sitting on the surface. Sometimes they do make a bond to the paint, but they're more of a topical defect. The other type of water spot that is a horrible problem is when there's something so corrosive in the water itself, say well water or city water, that when it dries on the paint and the sun hits it and sort of starts to evaporate, and you got heat, you got concentrated chemicals shrinking down as the water evaporates out, and whatever is in that water, it actually etches into the clear coat. So that means it's corrosive enough to dissolve or etch urethane paint. So is this the type of product that can solve or help to eliminate both those types of problems, the hard water spots and the corrosive type of what I call crater etchings?
So what we did for our internal testing, we used city water. Here we've got Lake Michigan, Chicago water, and so we tested with that, as well as traditional rainwater, just letting the car sit in a driveway, letting rain come down. And actually, the day that I did the testing on my car, there was a big. It must have been really dusty, because in addition to the water hitting down on the car, then you wind up with dust as well. And with our product, all those impurities, they came out with ease. So we haven't experienced anything negatives, and that also includes on the windshields. I've got this on windshield of my Sorento as well as my Optima, and then we have windshields of various employees' vehicles. And then whenever we did our external testing, they also applied it to the windshields as well. And it was pretty unanimous that the product, when applied on a windshield, when the rain came down, you saw those beautiful beads just like flying off the windshield. So reduce use of the wiper blades, but I would still encourage using wiper blades, regardless. It's a safety thing, but but it definitely helps to repel the water from the glass surfaces, and then if anything does dry on there, same deal. The water spots come off pretty easy.
Well, so that's good news for everybody then, because at least from your testing so far, and this is a new product, it's going to help to eliminate or help to prevent the problems associated with water spots, all types.
Yeah, it'll definitely reduce a lot of those issues, and it'll make it easier for the end user to maintain their vehicle.
And then I take it from what you just said that it's okay to put on glass, and it'll actually bond to the glass like it'll bond to the paint.
Yep, yeah, it's good on glass. It's good on the wheels, on chrome. I mean, we tested on everything except the only thing that we found that was a negative was on fabric, because the liquid is so dark. It can stain some of the automotive interiors. But what we found was on a microfiber, it actually rinses out, or it washes in your wash pretty well. And then because it really doesn't provide any benefits onto fabrics. I tried on multiple types of fabrics between cotton, microfibers, polyesters, and some canvas. And unfortunately, it wasn't the cure-all for everything in the world, but it works well on the exterior of cars.
If it would have, it'd have been score. Rawr.
Oh man, my marketing team would have loved it.
Yeah,
Science for the win.
Yeah, something for everything. Well, so one of the things that I've noticed after using this product is there's a couple key features about it. First of all, when you use it, when you're applying it, it is very slippery. It's just glides. And because I'm going to assume that the goal is to put down a thin coat, that way you get the best bang for the product. So it glides very easily, and then letting it dry. It looks like a traditional wax when you dry. It dries to a white haze, and when you go to wipe it off, it almost wipes off like a traditional wax. I mean, it's substantial. There is a layer of product on there, and I wouldn't say it's the easiest product to wipe off, but as you wipe it off, you can easily tell where the product is and where it isn't, so you can work around that panel and get everything removed, and then it leaves just incredible gloss behind.
Yeah, and that's attributed back to this molecule. So with the graphene oxide, and with the pair of catalysts that we threw in there into the formulation, so the product, it does spread well. It does bind to itself, so it'll self-orientate, which is why you'll see it go for the various different colors or phases. And so as the product is binding and you're getting this hydrogen bonding one on top of itself, then you get the transparent look. And then when the product cures and there's zero liquid left, at that point, all you're left with is just the coating. And then that's when you can wipe off the excess. And then that excess is what also allows it to bond better, and it accelerated bonding as well.
Okay, so what I'd like to do, since I have it here and we've got a car behind me, is I'd like to go ahead and apply some of this.
Whoops, I gotta unmute me. Mike just wants to play with it. I mean, he's not happy unless he's doing something. So.
Well, I want to apply it and then talk about some of the application techniques that that I've discovered. So anybody watching this is going to have a better user experience, just modifying the application technique just a little bit. And also I want to put some up here because when you apply this when it's wet, it like beads up. So you have a uniform layer, but it also looks like it's got tiny little beads everywhere in it.
Yeah, it's really cool how it does go on. It wets the surface out, so it looks like a puddle of water. And then as it's curing, then you start to see all the it goes in rows, and it looks
like
really
rows
cool.
of beads.
Yep.
Well, I think if I apply it up here to the black stripe on the front of this Camaro here, Yancy said he could probably pick that up with his camera. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to the other side and just apply it to half the hood. And I'm going to talk about some of the application techniques. And at any point, please chime in and share, your insights on this product.
You can just turn around and tell him he's doing it all wrong. You know.
Okay, so the first thing you want to do, and this is after I've played with this quite a bit, is I found it actually applies best with some sort of microfiber applicator pad versus a towel, just because a towel will tend to want to fold over on you. Plus, you don't want to fill an entire towel up with your product versus just wetting one side of a nice, clean, soft microfiber applicator pad. Once you dampen this, it enables you to spread it out. The thing about using a towel to spread a wet product out is any place that the towel is dry, it's also trying to wipe it off as you're trying to spread it out. So that's kind of a technique that's just normal for any kind of spray-on wax, is to use something that you can wet, dampen, and then you keep using that for the entire car as you work around the car. Is that something that you would confirm is your experience also?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's so the product, it can be applied directly to the surface, but it's best to be done the way you're doing it. If it's applied directly to the surface, then you have to look out for that overspray and anywhere else it landed. But whenever you do it with an applicator, like what you have, then you can see where you applied it and where you did not apply it. So the technique that you're using is what I would encourage everyone else to use.
It's a lot like putting on a coating, it looks like.
Okay, so I'm going to leave that there for you to watch, Yancy. Then I'm going to come back here and hit the passenger side of the roof here.
All right, and what I may do also is get a light.
What you also saw, though, is when I sprayed this on here, it turned this white applicator.
Well, hold on, I'm not even on you.
Okay.
I was on where I was supposed to be watching, remember?
Yes.
Yeah, the liquid is very black.
It's black.
Right,
Okay.
right there. All right.
Okay, but so now I've dampened this. It's already dampened from the initial application, but now it's really damp. And now instead of putting it on the car, I can just take, and it spreads out so easy. Anybody, the first time someone uses this, they're gonna go, "Wow, that guy I saw in the video, he was right. That stuff really spreads easy, and a little bit goes a long way."
He's talking about you too, David, not Mike. So.
I mean, this is just effortless application. And again, once you dampen one side of an applicator pad, you know, it's moist with the product, it's damp with the product. And so then it just takes very little to reapply to the pad to go on to the next surface. I mean, just here's one spray. And I'll bet you money I can do this entire half of the hood.
Now, that's a question for you, David. Like out of that bottle, how many applications do you think somebody would be able to get on, say, their car this size, which is, you know, a 73 Camaro? How many applications do you think you can get out of a bottle?
I think it would depend upon the temperature at which it's being applied. On a hotter day, you'll probably use more, so that way you can spread it out more. On a cooler day, you might use less, since there's less evaporation occurring. And that's really cool. How I liked how you zoomed in. You can see all the beads.
Yeah, I was going to set that up for you. I was teeing you up there, David. Can you explain like what process is happening right here and what the people are actually seeing?
So what you're seeing here is those beads are actually clear. What's around it is what's turning white, and that's what's flashing off. So the product, when it went on black, it was onto the applicator, and then when it's applied to the surface, it almost instantaneously starts to turn clear, and then as it dries, these beads start to form. And this is actually something that I found was unexpected when I designed it, because normally with these types of products, they flash off and then you just wipe them off and you're done. But with this one, because of the catalyst that's in there, it actually forced these beads to occur. And so the product is starting to cure as we speak, which is why it's starting to turn white over the entire surface.
Yeah, when I was messing with it, I mean, it reminded me of a lot of, actually, let me put me up here so that way people aren't thinking that I'm just like a voice from their imaginary, actually, it might be their actual head talking to. But it reminded me of a paste wax. When you put on an old school Carnauba paste wax and you put a thin layer down, then you let it dry until it gets a white haze and you wipe it off. That's what this whole process kind of reminded me of. And it kind of felt like that when I was taking it off. And I think Mike kind of agreed with that also. But it's nice because then it lets you know that, hey, I'm ready to come off now, instead of people wondering, oh, is it 15 seconds, 30 minutes? Well, how long do I have to go?
Yeah, and that's attributed to the catalyst. So within there, like I said, we chose two different types of distillates because the graphene oxide, we couldn't get into a water solution, of which I would prefer you doing a water-based chemistry, because that's kind of like that's really what I love doing, is water-based stuff. And so the product, the one of the solvents is coming off as the catalyst is reacting with the graphene oxide, and it's forcing it to bond to the surface, and it's forcing the orientation. And so it's all I got to say is synergy is all abound within the formulation. It took a while to discover which ones would work best. I messed up a lot initially, and thankfully graphene oxide is forgivable. So from what you've seen there, how easy it is to apply it throughout the surface, and how evenly it coats. What the whole premise behind this product was to try to help just beginners or people that don't have the professional background to apply coatings. We wanted to give them an opportunity to be able to apply coatings that are just as effective. I mean, you're not going to get 7 years out of it, but you'll get at least 1 year out of this product from a single application.
Okay, now that we've had this, I keep on doing that. I like being the individual voice in everybody's head. Mike, if I can get you, since you've wiped off all the other except for that front,
Yes.
I just want to show how easy this wipe off is. All right, hold on, Mike, let me get over there.
Okay.
And just watch how easy this is to wipe off. I mean, it's super simple. I mean, you don't struggle at all to get it off, and it comes off so super slick. I love that feature of that.
And,
So
and
kudos.
the depth of the gloss is really enhanced.
It's very visual, so I mean you can see where it is and where it's not. It wipes off easy. You can see the cloth. You can see the black graphene coming off.
Yeah, that's all the
while
unreactive.
you guys were focused on that small little section there, I covered the complete hood and the roof, and I used like 2 or 3 mists of product on this applicator pad, and it just went so far. And it's easy to apply. Wipe off is easy, and it's a very visual thing. You can tell where you've put the product, so you know where you've been. And then once you wiped it off, I mean, I think you've really hit the nail on the head by making this for somebody that is not a skilled professional. A professional would have no problem at all. But for someone, say, new to car detailing, this is a great product. I mean, it's a really nice product.
Yeah, well, every product that I've designed here at 303, so whether it be from cleaners to greasers, to waxes and detailers and tire cleaners and tire dressings. I mean, you know our product line, and I'm pretty sure your viewers can easily go on your website and pull up our products. But every product that I create, I try to create it with the premise of ease of use, because I have seen, just as you have, there are a lot of products that are wonderful. I mean, they're completely fantastic. Just they're so dang hard to use. And then you get a user that sees your video and they're like, oh man, I really want to do that. And then they try it at home and they're like, oh God, I got to go back to Mike's video because where did I mess up? And so with this product, we try to eliminate that.
Yeah, no, it is nice, exactly like I just stated it. And truly, the way to apply it is you've got to get yourself just a clean, soft microfiber applicator pad, and then just dampen one side and use this for the entire car, and you'll see exactly what I mean as far as getting it applied. Now, I've poured some off into a beaker here so everybody could just kind of see the color, because
I've already been zooming in and out of that.
And I know you have. I just want to show that now. One thing I want to tell everybody is it has a very, very distinct solvent aroma.
Well, I don't think David, he wanted you to like whiff it like that.
Now, the taste.
No, hey.
You're usually supposed to waft it.
It has a solvent taste to it too.
Yeah, he's not the chemist. He hasn't learned to do the little wop over into it instead of sticking your nose straight down in there yet.
Well, can I tell you guys an interesting story of what happened to me in college when I did not waft? I almost passed out. So my lab partner, she gave me a beaker of clear liquid, and then she was like, "Hey, can you identify what this is?" Well, me not knowing any better in general chemistry, I just put my face over it, and turns out it was ammonia. And I saw stars, and I mean, for a while there, I didn't know what was going on. And then eventually, when I finally came to, I was like, oh my gosh, that is ammonia. I was like, please don't ever do that again.
Well, funny story is me and my son, he's in college now. He was like 8, always been into hot sauces. So we thought, all right, we're going to make our own hot sauce. And so we had jalapenos, we had habaneros, garlic, all this stuff. We put it in a blender, sit there, mixed it all up like that. Both of us, we opened the top, went like that. Oh, the wrong thing to do. I swear to God. It's probably like you. I didn't see stars. I just couldn't smell right for the next month, but it was all good.
And one of the things, I poured the rest of this back into the bottle, but you can actually see the, Yancy, if you can zoom in on that, you can see the particulates, the graphene particulates. Here, let me shove a little cloth in there to give it a
there we go.
Yeah, like I said, when we made this formulation, I really tried to maximize the amount of graphene oxide that we're able to get in the solution. And because originally we had gone with a lower amount, but the results just weren't there, especially the water spotting. It just didn't give us what we were looking for. And so then that's when we went to the maximum amount possible.
And Mike disappears on me.
I'm going to go ahead and wipe this off because I know it's dried by now in this shop environment, and this isn't my car, so I'm going to try to wipe it off.
Now,
Well, not
speaking
all,
of
but
that, how long
yeah.
has it been? I mean, how long, if somebody's doing a car, can they go around their entire car, then come back and wipe it off? Or is there a certain time that they have to get it removed from the paint before it's like stuck on the paint?
What was that? Was that question for me?
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
David. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, really, as long as ideally you want to do a panel at a time, that way you carefully monitor where it's been applied. Not because the product is difficult to remove, but because you really just want to ensure that you hit every single section. So, like myself, I went over my entire Optima rather quickly. And then when I went around the car, by the time I got back to the beginning, then it was ready for me to wipe off, like what Mike's doing right now. But I don't know. We're looking at, I want to say the cure time. It was 45 degrees, Chicago, January of last year. Cure time was about 25 minutes. And then in the warmer climates, around 80 degrees Fahrenheit, cure time was more about 3 minutes or so. So it really depends on your dew point, what your humidity levels are. The more humidity that you have, the slower the evaporation, the slower the cure. But the drier the climate, the warmer. And the other added bonus to this product is you can do it in direct sunlight. So right
That was
here,
my
you're
next question. So good segue.
control the environment. But there's a lot of people that don't have the luxury of a garage or some sort of a covered area. With our product, unlike others, you can apply it in direct sunlight, and you can really, just to use the term, smear it over the paint, and it'll work. It'll work just fine, so long as you see that white layer appear after it's been allowed time to cure. But so yeah, direct sunlight is an amazing attribute for this item.
So that comes in really good for the mobile detailers that are out there that are working in the sun and stuff. This is a quick and a good quality product that they can sell to their customers. So kudos.
Yeah. So you're in. So I used to live down in Las Cruces, New Mexico. It's so I went down. I went to school at New Mexico State University.
I went to school in Albuquerque.
What's that?
I went to school in Albuquerque.
Oh, UNM.
Yep.
Yeah. So as a college kid and growing up in the desert, the shade isn't something that is easily accessible. So this product would be phenomenal for someone out there in drier, direct sunlight areas.
So I want to share when after using this product and learning, about it from, the Zoom meeting we had initially, the first thing that came to my mind is this is an SUV wax. Okay, and here's why I say that. It's good for anything, but
RVs.
RV. Well, I'm just thinking there's so many SUVs. So many car manufacturers aren't making even cars anymore. SUVs are so popular, but they're big. And in my own opinion, they're kind of boring to work on. They're not like a 73 Z28. Follow me? So, but at the same time, SUVs can be very expensive. So you want to take care of it, but it's big. You got to get up on a ladder to get the roof. So you want to use a product you can do it in one step, gets great protection, and if you can just do it once a year, boom, home run.
Yeah. I haven't directly done any testing on an SUV on an RV personally. I would love to get my hands on an RV and hit a road trip and then come back, especially on company dollar.
What's your boss's name? we can put him on our notice right now that you need to do some R&D, field research, we'll call it.
Because actually for the R&D part, what I did do was applied it to the Sorento. We visited a family in Oregon. So I drove from Chicago to Oregon through the Wyoming desert, Utah, Idaho, and a big chunk of Oregon's desert. And the bugs that had hit the car, man, they came off so much easier. I was very happy that I had applied it before our road trip, because I've gone through those bugs before, and when they bake on, they're so difficult to remove. But with this product, I was like, oh, just washing the car, the bugs were coming off.
Hey, we got a product for you down here. You can just relabel that, put a new label on it, and say Graphene Love Bug Deterrent. And it'd be like a hotcake seller down here. Twice a year, you would run out before you even get it labeled.
So, hey, David, so kind of back to how I started this interview with you out is once this stuff broke in the internet world, you know, you had a lot of people that were very excited about it and hopeful for it, but you also had some people that were very cynical about it, you know, kind of dissing it, saying, oh, this can't be true because the chemistry doesn't work or the chemistry doesn't exist. And, you know, you're here to prove everybody wrong about that. So what I'd like to do, if it's okay with you and Yancy, if it's time, I'd really like to let any of the cynical people or the hopeful and happy people start asking some questions. We've got the chemist here. Let's let him answer some questions. Put you on the spot. And also, while we were talking, I put some of this on the glass, so I want to...
He did that to you. I heard the bus back.
I know.
But no, I mean, I remember when, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get out of frame. I was trying to get him back in frame. I remember it all kind of went through the same philosophy when ceramic came out. And I think that's a good segue into this, my next question for you. How does graphene compare to ceramic and the SiO2s that are out there? What makes it different? What's better? What's, you know, can you break that down for us just a little bit?
Well, I mean, as you guys know, the actual ceramics, the small little 1 ounce, 2 ounce bottles that are very hard to apply, those ones are the polysiloxanes. And the polysiloxane is not very forgiving. And those coatings will last, if applied properly, those coatings will last a very long time. So where this compares to the traditional ceramics versus the SiO2 spray sealants, the difference where it falls in is it's very, very close to what a traditional ceramic will give you. And it's with the ease of use of an SiO2 spray sealant. Now, because it is in a spray bottle form, you're not going to get the 7-year durability like you would those small little ceramic coatings, but you are going to get at least 1 year, which is pretty good for a spray bottle.
For the price point and the applications method, yeah, that's incredible.
And so yeah, once upon a time, we're going back 10 years ago, I think it was, the ceramics, they were just, people are like, no, that's like black magic in a way. I mean,
snake
there's
oil.
no way
I think I remember them saying snake oil.
And so now we've moved on to the next phase. So the issues with ceramics was dust accumulation, water spots. There were other issues that you got, and really on the Mohs hardness scale, the highest you can go on a liquid product is a 6H. I've seen a lot that are 9Hs, but 6H is the highest that I've ever actually been able to read. And so so whenever it comes to like the hardness for graphene, once the layer is applied, similar to what the ceramics are, I mean, if you take your keys and you go across the surface, if you do it hard enough, then you are going to penetrate and you're going to take off not only the coating, but you're going to take the clear coat and the paint as well. But with this product, it will help to reduce some of the scratchings. So it will provide some scratch resistance to a degree. Not quite the amount that a traditional ceramic coating would, because it's not that type of application. But the chemistry is getting further along. When we first started on this project, originally it was just graphene itself, and graphene is not usable, at least not in this liquid form. And then there was graphene oxide, reduced graphene oxide, graphite oxide, and I believe also a reduced graphite oxide. So that there's different variations of the graphene family. And so what we chose to do is to go with the chemistry that was as close to actual pure graphene. But then when we saw that they had these hydrogen bonding elements to it, then we absolutely had to get it, because this is graphene by itself. And so what you see here are a bunch of benzene rings, and these rings, they don't they will stack, but there's really nothing that's going to attract them to become stackable. And then whenever you get this structure, because of the hydrogen bonding that you see up here, because of the hydrogen bonding that you see there, and the various ones throughout the molecule, then you start to get the stacking. So the graphene oxide is going to sit on top of itself, and then that's when it turns transparent. So the other cool feature about this product is it's layerable. What we found is we've gone up to, I believe it was 3 layers. Anything beyond that didn't really put any enhancement to it. It just kind of like plateaued off. But up to 3 layers, we were able to successfully apply to various vehicles. And
let me interrupt you right there, David, because that goes along with this question, and it's a perfect segue right into what you're just talking about. How long should one wait between coats if they want to do 2 coats or more on the car?
Good question.
Well, in this case here, you want to wait till it's completely dry. So we're talking dry to the touch. Even though the product is cured, and it can be, and water can be introduced to it almost immediately. The product itself, if you're going to apply a second layer, it's best to wait at least 24 hours because it's still like in a settling. It's hard to describe, but even though it's cured, the product is still bonded side to side. And so you want to allow it at least 24 hours. That way it'll fully cure itself. And then when you apply the second coat, at that point you won't be wiping off the first coat.
Let me help you here. It's still doing its voodoo magic.
Yeah. Yeah, so
that voodoo that you do.
It's shifting. It's shifting.
Looks like you're trying to dance and doing it very wrong.
Well, it's doing its own little thing there, but that's good to know. So you want to let it go 24 hours, probably keep it in a pristine, dust-free environment. Put the next coat on, wait another 24 hours, put the third coat on, and call it good. At that point, you've hit the wall, you've hit the ceiling, you've hit the point of diminishing returns.
Exactly, and I never like to tell consumers to stop applying more because
that means you sell more. I know you. It's marketing 101.
I might be an R&D, but then I do listen to the marketing people sometimes. But but yeah, the product itself, once you hit 3, diminishing returns does occur. So you plateau out, and you're not going to get any greater enhancement. But with the first layer, the depth of the gloss, I mean, it's pretty noticeable.
Oh yeah, for sure. The gloss is insane.
It is insane, and I think that is. I'm going to translate what you're saying. 3 means you put 3 layers on, and you need 3 bottles every 3 weeks. That'll make the marketing team happy. See, I'm helping you out. I still need the boss's name. We can put it. R&D and marketing is all going to be your gig. I'm telling you. Is there anything else that you want to discuss about this, or Mike, is there any other questions that you have?
I think we covered it. I think the application is important. Understand that it's the real deal. It's not a marketing hype. It's this.
It's not an industry buzzword.
Yeah, because I've just seen so many people out there say that this technology is not real. It's basically what they're saying. They're dissing the product, and I look at them and I just wonder, is this guy a chemist? Did he make the product? And the answer is no. So that's why it was important to me when we wanted to have this video. I had you on, the chemist, because you bring the credibility because you created the product.
I think a lot of it too, I don't mean to interrupt you right there, David. I think a lot of it too is people need to try the stuff. I mean, if you don't try it, you really don't know what you're talking about. If you're just reading about what you see on social media or your favorite vlogger or whatever, you're really not getting the true experience. I didn't know anything about this until I actually used it, and I was like, well, okay, this is pretty cool. Now I kind of want to test it out, put it in the rain, do all the other stuff and see exactly what all it is. So got to try it first.
Yeah,
right?
well, what's really cool is when you do your side-by-side, and so you do coated and not uncoated, and then you go and you drive through a rainstorm, and then you can see that line of distinction of where the water, it hits it like a wall, and then it just repels off. It looks really cool.
Well, we get lots of rain here, so we'll have plenty of chances to test that little visual aspect
Yeah.
of it. Let's see if there's questions.
Yeah,
'Cause I
that's
wanna,
what-
I want to go to the questions.
All right, I was getting ready there because I was looking at the time, and it was a great discussion. I absolutely loved every bit of it, and I think people are going to geek out over it. So, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. But now it is time for viewer questions. Yes, this is the time where you get to pick the chemist's brain, not me, not Mike. The chemist is in the house. Let's bring up all three of us, Mr. David Gutierrez. All right, let's scroll back through here. Some of these are gonna, what do you call it? Yes, another one. Yes, we are back, and Humberto has been here for like every single one of them. He remembers seeing you when you were with Pan the organizer, and he's calling you out by name, David.
Hey, thank you.
Let's see, you're getting internet famous. What's the graphene do to help? Just a real quick overcap. What does it do to help?
We did
The
cover
biggest
this,
thing
but it is a great question, so let's cover it again.
Yeah, the biggest thing is the reduced surface temperature, which is going to reduce the amount of water spots that occur.
All right, there you have it from the chemist's mouth. Actually, we should try stump the chemist. I see if we can get somebody to stump you because you seem very, very smart. Let's go to Juan. 303 and Fabric Guard are my favorites. Did you make any of those?
Fabric Guard, I actually was part of the reformulation due to EPA mandates a couple of years ago. And so I didn't create the original Fabric Guard, but I did have a hand in the reformulation of the Fabric Guard.
All right. Then here is Mike's auto detailing from Pan the organizer to Autogeek. He makes his rounds.
I'm just grateful I've got friends up there.
Right. Then we have Lomas. Love those 303 Aerospace Wipes. So we got
Thank
some
you.
love coming in for you.
I'll tell you one of my favorite products, and I share this with everybody, is the multi-surface cleaner. I share a story that happened to me last year when we were getting ready to go to the Barrett-Jackson auction. I had a brand spanking new pair of Nike tennis shoes on. They were fluorescent white. I pulled in here, parked out here. I stepped out of my car. I was out of the car. The next step I took, I stepped on a Chick-fil-A Buffalo. Is their orange
pack sauce or
it
whatever.
was their orange like secret sauce in a little cuppy container thing, and I stepped on it perfectly that it launched a huge glob of it onto the tongue of my brand new tennis shoe, and it was this fluorescent orange. So I went into my office and I grabbed some well-known fabric cleaners, sprayed them on, agitated, blotted with the towel. Spot was still there. I saw the 303 multi-surface cleaner and I thought, what the heck, let's give it a try. The other stuff didn't work. I got nothing to lose. I sprayed on, I agitated, and boom, spot was gone. I was just like blown away. And ever since then, when I need something I can trust is gonna clean and get the job done, I grab the 303 and I share it with all my friends too. It's amazing cleaning.
Yeah, within that multi-surface cleaner, you've got quaternary compounds in there, which actually complex several soils to help rinse them away. You've also got some alcohols in there, but it's a very specific ethoxylate that is actually environmentally friendly. So it's one of the green chemistries, and so this molecule not only aids with the quaternary compound, but it also it helps to emulsify whatever dirts are on the surface to rinse them away.
See, now you know why your
Well, I'll tell
magic
you
voodoo
what.
actually does what it does.
Well, the thing was, I didn't want to go stand at this huge car event with these fluorescent white shoes on with this orange spot. Just your eyes were drawn to it. So I was just glad it worked, but it's a great product. 303 makes great stuff.
All right, here's
Thanks.
another one, Mike Slooper. When is it going to land in the UK? I want it yesterday, please.
That is a good question that I do not know the answer to.
And we have our first stump the camera.
For enough money, this could travel. It's still about half full.
Yeah, still about half full. Let's go here to Michael. What about water spots on glass?
He actually answered that question. He said it helps to alleviate it.
I'm just going down the
I
questions
getcha.
here. We have Fam Marquez. He's saying hello, everybody. Hi. Well, now they're talking back and forth. Oh, here's a good one. David, is there any problem if it's applied to matte stripes or matte paint?
Oh, great question.
On matte paint, that is actually a really good question, because on matte paint you don't want the gloss. So that is something that what we've tested so far has been clear coats, including gel coats on some boats. So we've tested shiny surfaces. I would, when applying on a matte surface, I guess I would test in an area before moving on, because I know those are very, very special. Like there's very few items that will work on a matted paint.
And I would suggest testing to an inconspicuous area and then wait for a week or two and watch what happens.
happens.
Don't apply it, wipe it off, and go, hey, that looks good, do the whole car. There's some.
Oops.
Well, there's something to be said for time passing with sensitive surfaces like that.
All right, let's move on. Let's go to Sarah. Can't wait to try this. So you guys definitely had a bum. And you guys ran out, didn't you, when you launched this? You guys ran out.
When we first made it, we sold out within the first, I think it was 2 hours.
Wow.
So then at that point, operations, they really had to get in gear. And every single day of the last 2 weeks, that's all we've been doing is making the graphene nanospray.
So everybody in the back pumping saying, that damn David.
Yeah, I've had a lot of weird looks. People that are like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, just roll with it.
Just run with it. All right, here's actually a very good question, and I didn't even think about it. So thank you, Richard, for attacking this. I have a polymer paint sealant and then a coat of wax on my Corvette. Would I need to remove them first, or can this graphene product be applied over the top of what I already have?
It can be applied on top of. So our recommendation is to clay bar your car, go through the decontamination process before applying it. But what we've also seen a lot of success with people that just washed their car and just applied it, whether it be a ceramic coating that's already applied onto this on the surface, or it meshes well with other components that goes on top, so it compounds well.
And one thing I just like to add, there's a difference between, say, applying this to a car that you put a synthetic sealing on and a coat of wax on a week ago or a couple months ago, because those things micro-abrade off every time you touch it. So you wash it, you dry it, you're rubbing a towel over synthetic sealants or waxes, you are micro-abrading that off. So you might not have as much of that product on there as you think, unless you just did like a week ago. And here's another question for you, because again, you can smell the solvents. Would those solvents have a tendency to kind of remove any previously applied wax or synthetic sealant, so the magic voodoo juice, the graphene, can actually get to the paint and make that bond?
Well, I guess it depends on what is on there initially. If it's a ceramic coating, probably not. But if it's a quick wax, then possibly it might remove the coating or it might remove whatever's on there existing, and then this would be applied in its place.
So to answer the guy's question, in a perfect world, you really want clean paint. So wash the car, clay it. If you just put a coat of wax on it from someone else's brand or a synthetic sealant, then maybe consider doing a light polish and then wash the car to get the oils off and just get down to clean, naked paint to give this product the best chance to do what it was intended to do, and that's bond to paint. Okay. Good question.
All right, here we go. Let's go to Fam Marquez. Like the time he had, my friend had some VCR head cleaner. He said, smell this, smell is falling all over the place. So I guess that's going back to our little smell-o-vision stories. All right, we answered that one already. SUVs, yes, they are a pain to wash because they are so huge. Let's go here to George. I love your tonneau cleaver. What do you suggest for protect it afterwards? 303 protectant, or is there anything better?
On a tonneau surface, the 303 protectant. That is definitely the go-to for that surface.
Okay, let's go to SXXX. T. All right, that's an interesting name. Does it need to be reapplied after a wash for maintenance?
It doesn't need to be reapplied immediately. The product is it's chemical resistant, water resistant, detergent resistant. I would recommend reapplication anywhere from 6 to 9 months later, just to ensure that you are going to get the durability. Even though the product is rated for 1 year, even like ceramic coatings, you have the toppers that are applied every so often. So it doesn't need to be applied after every single wash, but I would recommend a few months down the road, just as you give your car some TLC, just apply this too.
And let me interject there. We've talked about this all the time. It depends on how you wash your car. When someone says, I'm going to wash my car, what do you mean? You're going to run through a Swirl-matic car wash? Or are you going to go out there and carefully wash it with your pristine wash mitt? You know, so there's different ways to wash a car. And aggressive washing wears the paint off, so it's going to wear anything on the paint off. So there's a huge difference in how you wash a car.
And actually,
I would highly recommend hand washing.
Yeah.
That segues into Michael's question, and kind of going to pick your brain. Best ways to maintain this through the year's time, specific products, soaps, detail spray. Do you guys have like, within your own stuff, do you guys have like, we recommend this, we recommend this, and we recommend this?
Yeah, synergistic chemical system.
Yeah, so we have our 303 car wash, which I would highly recommend people use. When you're talking about foam height, you only need 1 ounce per bucket. Super concentrated, and the foam it looks awesome, especially if you use our Trinova. I'm trying to blank right now, but it connects to your pressure washer, and the gunner was I tried the foam cannon. When you put the car wash into the foam cannon, man, the car just turns like white as snow, and then you can go about cleaning it. But yeah, just we have spray detailers and waxes that could be applied afterwards, just for maintenance. That'll be anywhere from every 1 week to 3 months. And then our car wash, I recommend washing your car at least once every 2 weeks. That's normally the best way to go to try to maintain it, especially if you don't live in an area where there's too much dust.
All right, good answer, good answer. All right, now we have Mike, not you, Mike, another Mike. Is 303 graphene flexible for ABS bumpers, which are naturally flexible, and PPF, which is historically easy to stain? Like PPF films, and do they have to worry about it cracking? I guess showing if it's cracking or anything on flexible pieces?
I've never seen this coating crack before, but
It's not that type of product.
yeah,
It's not creating like a eggshell on your car.
No.
So.
Okay, let's go here. Pete Tanzini. Okay, sorry if any of these questions were addressed already. Can I apply this over pro-install coatings? Can it top SiO2 and TiO2? What is the maintenance for this product if used as a main protection product? Get all your questions in at once.
yeah.
This is called reinforcement. When you ask questions over and over again and get the same answers, that's called reinforcement. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it could be applied over SiO2s, over TiO2s, and maintenance would be, like I said, every time you take care of your car, especially if you only do it once every 6 months, I would recommend that you go ahead and you throw this on your car, just maintain that level of protection and gloss.
All right, now this guy, Ian Jack Clean Your Mechanic Incorporated. I'm waiting for it to arrive in Canada. What's the holdup?
That's a marketing
question. Across the border. Let's go. 303 is great for old vinyl tops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
this guy's answering is pretty much what we just got done saying. Just like all new products, when everybody doesn't believe in it, it just happened like ceramic coating. I remember all these things were talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well said. I'm already. Oh, here we go. He's already sold. He's ready for it to be in the UK. I guess for the people overseas, just pay attention to the websites and their local distributors.
How about subscribe to the 303 newsletter or the Autogeek newsletter? You know,
Yeah.
Newsletters are a great way to find out when something's going to become available or available in your area.
That is true. Yeah.
And people always ask me, hey, Mike, when's the next really big sale coming at Autogeek? And I'm like, you know, the way I find out is I'm subscribed to the Autogeek newsletter. Nobody at Autogeek ever tells me what's going on, so
He's
I
our mushroom.
subscribe. And I find it a great way to find out when the big sale's coming up.
All right, here's actually a good one. It may put you on the spot a little bit, David, but let's see what happens here. Pete, again, he's the long one. Seeing other few chemists and some other testing our company side by side is explaining the extreme difficulty of getting a one atom layer to lay on a surface. Is it a hybrid with ceramic, SiO2, combined as well? No one has able to see the heat difference on a surface temp. Do you have successful testing with that as it claims lower temps? So basically, how do you get your lower temp readings?
We've actually done a lot of testing trying to show it. It's extremely difficult to do, mainly just because so you got the heat gun and you're measuring the temperature of the coating that is on top of the surface, and the coating is going to be whatever ambient temperature happens to be. So if your car is baking in the sun and it's 100 degrees, well, your coating is going to wind up rising up to that 100 degrees as well. But the surface below that is no longer going to be 100 degrees. And yet when you remove the coating, then now you're taking the temperature of the surface again without the coating, which is going to be the same as the rest of the car. So it's been extremely difficult to show. The only thing I can describe is with thermodynamics within physics, because the thermodynamics has to do with the heat transfer. So you're going to get the transfer that goes from the painted surface to the product, and then it's going to be evacuating off into the atmosphere. And then from there, it's going to be regulated between the coating and the surface. And so you're going to get this constant regulation between the two. And so it's so similar to whenever you've got well, actually, anytime you're cold, heat always leaves from your head. So if you walk out of Chicago in the middle of winter, and then you start to see the steam rising from your head, you have that temperature regulation between yourself and the environment. It'd be similar with the coating, because the temperature regulation is between the surface and the coating, so it's hard to see with the thermometer.
So, and I want to interject here. You know, it's great to want to be curious. It's great to be cynical. It's great to ask questions because you doubt maybe some of the claims. You read something somewhere else. But at some point, you just need to trust the brand and the chemists behind it. Buy it, apply it, move on with life.
I think I may have a good summary of what you just said there, though, David. Is basically this acts like the heat shield on the shuttle. It absorbs the heat. It takes the heat and it makes it where it doesn't transfer down onto the paint, where if you don't have it there, then the heat's going straight to the paint, correct?
It does take the brunt of the heat. So if you're in Tucson, the coating is going to be protecting your surface.
Okay, there you go. It's a heat shield. Now we have it. We've been asking. Some people have been asking about the. Actually, where was it at? Well, I don't remember. Whoever it was, I'm sorry if I didn't bring you back up. They're asking, can you put something over the top of it? So use this as your base layer, then maybe put like a ceramic wax. I mean, not a ceramic wax, but a carnauba wax or something else on top of it. Can you use it as like your first coating? Because people like to layer things. It's like a cake.
That's actually a good question. What do you, Mike? I don't know how to answer that one.
You know, here's how I answer, because it comes up in the coating world all the time. But, you know, instead of trying to build up layers and layers and layers, and if you want to, I mean, there's probably no law, there's no wax police out there that tell you not to do it. But instead, do a great job of applying this product uniform over the surface, remove it. If you want to layer something, he's already said you can layer this over itself up to 3 applications and call it good. Put the car back into service and move on to something in life. I mean, you can't stay in the garage putting things on the car forever. So again, trust the brand and trust the chemist behind the brand. And in case you missed it, he said this product is layerable. You need to wait 24 hours before you put subsequent layers on, up to 3 layers, and then you hit the law of diminishing returns. Adding a 4th layer is not going to gain anything for you. So that would be the answer. If you want to put a carnauba wax or a synthetic sealant or your favorite whatever, you can certainly probably do that. I don't know if there's any benefit to it when you actually have a better proven option right here, the product that you bought to put on the car.
Well said.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
And everybody claps and everybody sings. All right, with that, I think I'm done with all the questions. I don't want to keep you on forever. I know I've had you for about an hour, and
I'd like to ask a favor.
Uh-oh.
Sure.
David, while we've got an audience here, and this will be captured
This
further
is
in
a
video.
loaded question coming your way, David.
It's not. From a chemist's point of view, David attended my 2-day roadshow class.
Oh, he wants you to fluff
And
his...
we detailed 10 cars in 2 days. Could you just maybe share everybody what you thought about the class?
Tell the truth,
Oh,
David.
yeah. I'll tell you what, even if you are someone who knows what you're doing, you're going to learn a lot. So when we were working with all these various cars, so we had extremely expensive classic cars that I don't know if I'll ever be able to touch again.
We had muscle cars. We had a Boss Mustang. We had a '64 GTO. We had a '39 Zephyr. We had a Lincoln Continental. We had a brand new Corvette. I mean, we had new cars, old cars. We had a barn find car that we restored. Remember the 1940 Buick?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it was such a great class. We covered all the major tools in the industry, and we started on time at 6:30 in the morning. We probably finished at 6:30 at night, 2 days in a row. There was virtually no chairs, no sitting, no breaks, all hands on.
I'll tell you what, it's probably the best class I've ever been in because I love hands-on, and that's all we did was just 100% hands-on. Like you were constantly, if you didn't have a rotary in your hand or a flex, or if you didn't have something in your hands or the beast, then I mean, you constantly were, okay, what's the next thing? Am I going to wash this car? We're going to decontaminate this car. We're going to clay bar this car, synthetic clay bar this car. We're going, and at the very end, we're going to ceramic coat this car. I mean, it was a phenomenal class that was loaded with information that probably could have gone anywhere from 4 days or a week.
Don't give him ideas.
We compressed it into 2 very busy days. And I do walk around, and if I see somebody and it looks like they don't have something to do, I find out what they need. I get that tool, that product, what technique, I show them it is, but I get, and you were there with another person from 303. And I was really happy to have a chemist in the class. You were so nice to field questions about chemistry from people attending the class, but that was a fun class, and it was a great environment we were at, so thanks for sharing that.
Well, let me ask you this, David.
I had never worked on single stage paint before, and that was amazing.
Let me ask you this, David. Do you think that we should get him like a whip and a chair like the lion tamer for his classes? Because it's kind of, he's like a little slave driver in there.
Well, he's pretty vocal. So if you're just standing there kind of like twiddling your thumbs, he's like...
Yeah, he turns around and gives you this. Here, you're not doing anything. Go.
I do. I make sure everybody's having a good time.
Busy time.
All right, well, I think we're at the end, and we do have a giveaway that we're going to do. I'm going to give away 6 of these poles because we have a bunch of you guys who are gracious to give us some of these poles. They're the dry wicking.
They're the Nike, yeah.
Nikes.
Nice shirts.
Nike Golf. These. All right, this one's mine. Thank you, 303. But no, anyways, I'll give away 6 of these, and I want to give away a couple bottles of that. So let's go with. I need hashtags here. Hashtag 303 for me in the comments down below, both on Facebook or YouTube. That's hashtag 303 for me, and you can be entered into winning. 2 people will win the bottle, and 6 people will win the
303 and the number 4 or the word 4?
Either way you want to do it. I'm not that picky.
Okay.
But David, I do want to appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule and instructing Mike on the ways of chemistry. Since you and I, we are up there. I have my chemistry set over there, so we're good. Him,
Right.
caveman.
I'm just the how-to guy.
And Mike, whenever you want to come visit and play around in the lab, I'll be happy to whip up some customized stuff for you.
I will take you up on that offer.
Oh, can I come up there with a camera and you let him mix a couple things so I can capture the up on camera?
There might be an NDA involved, but...
All right, cool. That works. All right, well, thank you, David. You have a nice one, and you're in Chicago, correct?
Correct. Yeah, 3 miles
warm.
from Midway.
Stay safe.
Thank you.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.